Now that we've made a radial gutter orthosis, now we're going to make an ulnar gutter orthosis. So I'm going to do the same process as beforehand. I'm going to trace out the fingers on my paper to give me a reference point. This is going to be for the ring and small finger. If it's my ring finger that's involved, I'm going to move the pattern over to the long finger to encompass the long finger as well. If it's just the small finger, I'm going to encompass just the ring finger. So we're going to make as if this is a metacarpal fracture of the small finger. What I'll do is I'll come up above to the distal tip of my ring finger, bring this down to the tip of my small finger, and at about a 45-degree angle come back up. So I can fold this pattern over, and it's going to cover my ring finger as if I'm going to go all the way down the mid-axis of the forearm. Bring that straight back down. Lift your hand up for me now, please. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut that pattern out. Again, for viewing purposes, now what we're going to do is we're going to apply the orthotic pattern to the dorsal aspect of the hand, just to get an idea of how this is going to fit. So there we are. It's going to encompass both the PIP and the DIP joints. It's going to be short, but we're just going to extend this pattern right down here to make a long arm ulnar gutter orthosis. So now we're going to transfer this over to our material, our 16th inch microperforated aquaplast. And the same rule applies with this. If you want to make just a hand-based orthosis, we can cut the wrist out completely and just have a hand-based. If you want the interphalangeal joints free, the PIP and DIP joint, you just trim the material down to allow free movement of the PIP and DIP joints. Once the material is ready, remove from the splint pan. Be ready to apply. Again, we can use in the supinated position, over a bolster, over a blue elevator, whatever's most appropriate for you. It feels the best, position your patient and apply the material. Gently hold the material. We may need to put a fold into the palm in order to take up any excess material. Conform to your arches. I'm not pulling down, I'm just getting a gentle squeeze in order to get that to conform. Okay, now we've gone ahead and we've applied the Velcro strapping to the ulnar gutter orthosis. We place it back on our patient to ensure a good fit. We start to add our straps. We cut them to length. We have our 1.5 inches. And through the palm, I like to put a 1-inch strap around the metacarpals. And I'll do is cut out for the web space as well to make it more comfortable for our patient. And then I'll have one piece to encapsulate the digits. And there we have our forearm-based ulnar gutter orthosis. Now we've gone ahead and we've made both a forearm-based radial and ulnar gutter orthosis. There's our radial gutter. Here's our ulnar gutter orthosis. One of the key things also is to know what surgical procedure you're dealing with, what type of material is going to be most appropriate for that particular condition, whether it be an 1/8 inch easy form, 1/8 inch tailor splint, or a 16th inch microperforated aquaplast. The difference between a short arm and a long arm, whether it be a wrist-based or a forearm-based, or you can move the fingers either to just go below the interphalangeal joints to allow PIP and DIP flexion, or encapsulate the whole digit itself. So indications mostly for this will be some sort of metacarpal fracture or proximal phalanx fracture, or a middle phalanx fracture based on how far you want to move up with that orthosis, whether to cover from the PIP or DIP joint or leave those IP joints free. Remember, there are many variations to this orthosis, and you place your metacarpals in joints and positions which are mostly advantageous for the patient based on if there's any kind of wound or pins that are exiting from the digit itself.